for giving me an opportunity to speak on this historic legislation pertaining to the National Commission of Backward Classes, the Constitutional 123rd Amendment Bill 2017. Sir, this is one of the landmark legislations ever in the history, a long-awaited one, and it is going to actually have an impact on millions of lives in the country, sir. This bill aims at providing constitutional status to the NCBC. As per the National Sample Survey Organization of 2006, the population of OBCs is 41%. I wholeheartedly congratulate the Union Minister and the Union Government for bringing up this bill, which is long awaited and which will have a great impact. Though NCBC, a statutory body, was created in 1993, it was only vested with limited power and hence could not make a considerable impact. But by this legislation, the NCBC will cater to the needs of most vulnerable social and economically backward classes in various states and union territories, as may be specified by the Honorable President of India in consultation with the Governor of the concerned states. The National Commission clearly states that we will also have the power to examine complaints pertaining to the inclusion or exclusion of groups within the list of backward classes and advise the central government in this regard. Sir, as far as the bill is concerned, I feel that it takes away the authority of the states, which can now send the request to the current NCBC, which may or may not forward them to the union government. But some regional parties in the states have been assuring to include certain castes in the OBC list only to raise the hopes and aspirations of the respective people of the respective states, particularly that of AP. I would like to request the Honorable Minister, sir, to throw some light on the role of the state governments in inclusion of certain castes in the OBC list. Sir, now that this bill will be passed in the House, I would like to have certain clarifications from the Honorable Minister. Sir, in October 2017, Honorable President of India, Sri Ramnath Kovindji, notified a 5-member commission headed by the Delhi High Court's former Chief Justice G. Rohini under Article 340 of Indian Constitution to explore the idea of OBC subcategorization. Sir, this previous National Commission for Backward Classes have also recommended for this commission, and the Standing Committee also recommended for this commission. I would like to know from the Honorable Minister, sir, this commission is supposed to present its report within 12 weeks of the formation, but it has not reported even till date. It was also supposed to bring order of the central list of OBCs by removing reputations. I would like to know, sir, OBC categorization has already been implemented by certain states, 11 states in the country, in which Andhra Pradesh is also there. What will be the status of this subcategorization, and will the committee proceed with the subcategorization report is my question, sir. What will be the effect of the states that have already made this subcategorization? Will the same continue? Because caste-wise census is not available in the public domain, I would like to know from the Honorable Minister whether the caste-wise census will also be available through this National Commission for the Backward Classes. And coming to the creamy layer, sir, the danger of reservation is threefold. Its benefits by and large are snatched away by the top creamy layer of the backward caste or class, thus keeping the weakest among the weak always weak and leaving the fortunate layers to consume the whole cake. Sir, as far as creamy layer is concerned, SC and STs don't have the creamy layer, whereas BCs are having the creamy layer, as said by some of my colleagues, sir. Sir, I would like to bring to the notice of this August House, if my son competes with the economically backward tribal child of the constituency, automatically my son gets selected and the poor tribal boy or the poor scheduled caste boy doesn't get selected into this list. I feel, sir, the creamy layer which has been existing in SC, ST as well as BC are a hurdle to the development of their own caste people, and the entire creamy layer is being only enjoyed by 2% of the scheduled caste or the scheduled tribe, sir. I know certain families in Andhra Pradesh and in the country also who have 11, 12 IAS officers only in one family, sir, because they are the person who will be selected. So I would like to request the Honorable Minister that this will be appropriately considered, duly considering all the pros and cons. Sir, lastly, to conclude, I would like to draw the attention of this August House to the economically backward class of people, sir. who have been deprived of minimum amenities, educational and social support. They are the most vulnerable who have been suffering since independence and have been left out of all welfare measures. If one chunk of population is being left out completely, sir, the country's prosperity will be affected, and they have to be also taken into consideration. Though Gujarat tried to implement 10% for the economically backward, it has been stayed by the Honorable Supreme Court order, sir. I request the Union government to enact a legislation concerning to the extremely backward population, considering their pathetic state. Lastly, sir, as per the amendments passed in the Rajya Sabha, the government agreed to incorporate a women member in the rules. It is a welcome step, sir. I wish the NCBC will certainly discharge the duties in an effective manner and provide justice to millions of populations across India. With this, I support the bill, sir. I would like to close by quoting, sir, Adam Smith, sir. I quote, "No society can surely be flourishing and happy, of which the far greater part of the members are poor and miserable," sir, unquote. With this, I support the bill, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Shri Thamar Waj